Sisters, the peace of the Lord Jesus be with you. I am Father Nathaniel Haslam, National Chaplain for the Lumen Institute, and we continue our discussion on the Church's social teachings. We've gone over human dignity, the common good, and solidarity. This is the last one, the fourth one we're going to cover on these basic principles. Okay, this one is called subsidiarity. As leadership decision-making principles and criteria, this one, in my opinion, is the least known and the least understood. So what is subsidiarity? Subsidiarity says that the higher level of government, of organizations, or authorities should not do for the lower level what it can do for itself. For example, the federal government should not legislate or intervene in the state or city level when it doesn't need to. Why is this the case? Now, subsidiarity protects and promotes the individual development, the maturity, and the responsibility of those closest to the situation. When the higher level does and steps in for the lower level, when it could do itself, it stunts your growth, it makes you dependent, and does not give you the chance and responsibility to grow and mature. The compendium of the social teaching of the Church says, just as it is gravely wrong to take from individuals what they can accomplish by their own initiative and industry and give it to the community, so also it's an injustice and at the same time a grave evil and disturbance of right order to assign to the greater and higher association what lesser and subordinate organizations can do. For every social activity that ought by nature to furnish help to the members of the social body and never destroy or absorb them. Now, I think of as an example here in Houston several years ago when we had Hurricane Harvey, right? Hurricane Harvey crippled this city, and Houston could all of a sudden not do many of the things it would normally do on a day-to-day basis. And so it needed the state and the federal level to step in to support with everything from food to law and order and to other things, right? Because now that's a good example. You know, in other cases, when the state or some other higher level takes over the lower level, what happens? It fosters mediocrity. It fosters stagnation of the human person. Brigadier General Samuel Lippman Atwood Marshall, also known as Slam, was a military journalist and a historian. He served with the American Expeditionary Force in World War I before leaving to work as a journalist and specializing in military affairs. He wrote and taught, "The art of leading in operations large or small is the art of dealing with humanity, of working diligently on behalf of men and women, of being sympathetic with them, but equally insisting that they make and take care of their own problems when they can." The modern era, you and I both know, is rife with an entitlement mentality, with a victim mentality, with a I don't want to take responsibility mentality oftentimes. And so subsidiarity reminds us and frankly insists to each one of us that we as leaders need to let those who can do things for themselves, when they can take responsibility for themselves, for their lives, for their jobs, for their actions, that they do so, and that we empower them, that we encourage them, that we don't do what they can do for them. Because why? Because that ultimately will stifle their growth and their maturing and their flourishing in life. And so as leaders, it's very important to know the difference of when we're called to step in and lead the charge and to enable things and do things versus when we're called to step back, delegate, encourage, but let other people do what they can do for themselves. This is the principle of subsidiarity, the last of our four principles, the basic principles. Next month, we're going to begin 4 months of applying human dignity, common good, solidarity, and subsidiarity to the various sectors of life, like family and business, and politics, and the environment, and other such areas of life. So I hope this month, this fourth month, will be a time to continue deepening in these principles, especially subsidiarity, to pray about it, to look at Jesus and see how he showed subsidiarity in the way what he taught and what he did for others, and that we begin to inculcate this in our leadership decision making and see maybe where there's areas where I don't show subsidiarity, and we ask the Lord and even other people's help to give us that feedback so we ourselves can better embody this principle and become a better leader, a better decision maker, and hence help many other people. God bless you, count on my prayers, and see you next month. Take care.